Hey book buddies, how are you? I'm Eric from Lonesome Reader, and I'm doing a tag video today because it's been a while since I've done a tag video, and it seems the right time of year to make this particular one. I was inspired to make this because that rainbow unicorn from NYC, Matthew Sharapa, just did this tag on his channel, and he didn't specifically tag me, but he mentioned me in his video because we are buddy reading Marlena at the moment. This tag was created by that wonderful Canadian book oracle, Ariels, a few months ago, and hers was a tag video for a glasses company. And you know, something that's weird is I quite enjoy sponsored content if it's from people who are quite fun to watch or listen to. Like I listened to RuPaul and Michelle Visage's podcast, What's the Tea? And their sponsored segments are so freaking hilarious. Like, I bought a Casper mattress because of them. So obviously Ariel's video is super fun. Anyway, I'm not sponsored, although weirdly, like, a glasses company did email me once offering to give me a free pair of glasses if I made a sponsored video, but I'm just not organized enough to do that. It's not even that I want to maintain my integrity or anything, or that, like, I'm against it. It's just I can't, like, mentally make myself care enough to do it, you know? But since I'm talking about glasses in a rambling way, I'm going to confess something to you. I wear glasses. That's it. I've finally come out. I'm a Four Eyes and proud of it. I've never worn them in videos before because I'm short-sighted, so like I don't need them for reading or doing things on the computer or making videos. Plus, I am stupidly vain like that. I get self-conscious about wearing them in public or having my photo taken with them. It's something I know that I should get over. Like, do any of you have that problem? No, it's just me. All you wise bookish folk probably got over this while you were young. I know I should too. Okay, on to the questions. Question number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I started reading The Sport of Kings earlier this year when the long list for the Bailey's Prize was announced. Was that in March or something? Around then. And I still haven't finished it. I don't know why that is. Like, it is longish, yes. It's like 560 pages or so. But that's not why. I've read longer books this year. And it's not that the story or writing isn't good. I'm enjoying both. The style is crazy and keeps changing. It goes from like naturalistic to more surrealism. And the story is really interesting and heartbreaking in a lot of ways. But I just keep starting and stopping it. I read like about half of it when the Bailey's Prize was happening, another 100 pages during the summer, and then another 100 pages like really recently. So I really don't have much more to go. And I will finish it because it is fascinating. It's just one of those books that, like, for whatever reason, I keep like putting it down and like not going back to it. So okay, question number 2. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? The Night Brother by Rosie, Garland. When I heard transition in my mind, I thought transition from female to male rather than the like question's intended meaning, like of autumn to winter. And this novel is all about a character who lives her life during the day as a woman and then at night physically transforms into a man. Isn't that an awesome story idea? And it just feels right for this time of year. I'm about halfway through it and I'm really enjoying it. Question number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Well, the year is like almost over, and not many books are published in December. Although there is one being published, which is The Lime Tree by Cesar Aira. And this is being published at the beginning of December by And Other Stories, which is a fabulous publisher that like I always talk about. And excitingly, in 2018, And Other Stories are only publishing women for the whole year, books written by women, which is so awesome. But Cesar Aira is just a wild writer. I've read 2 of his books, and his work is always thought-provoking and fun in its absurdity. Question 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? The Clocks in This House All Tell Different Times by Zan Brooks. Don't you love the title and this cover? It sounds like a really unique post-World War I story. This is a book that I went to Foyles earlier this year and bought it like right when it came out. And I've kept meaning to get to it. And it's just been listed for the Costa First Novel Award, which was announced on Tuesday night. I thought about making a whole video about the Costa shortlist, but I've not actually read many of the books on the list. I've only read, I think, like 2 of them. Like, I've read Tin Man, which I absolutely loved, and then John McGregor's novel Reservoir 13. But I thought my video wouldn't be giving many like opinions about the books. I would just be giving summaries of the books. And Simon Savidge, who was actually one of the judges of the first novel prize, he made a great video giving summaries of all the books listed for the prize in all the various categories. So I'll just link that below so you can watch it. There's quite a few on the Costa list, and so many of them like sound really tempting. So that's one book. The next book that I definitely want to read is The Mother of All Questions by Rebecca Solnit. This is a nonfiction book of essays about modern feminism, and I love reading about feminism. It's something that we all need to think about in a more complex way, and it's something that's been on people's minds a lot lately with everything that's been in the news about the systematic abuse of women in Hollywood, as well as in all areas of the workforce and just daily life. And the hashtag #MeToo movement, where women are making themselves heard and making men understand the amount of shit that they have to go through just as women in this society. So there's this, which sounds fantastic. And then I also definitely want to read Memoirs of a Polar Bear by Yoko Tawada. This is the story of 3 different bears and their lives. I've heard it's both philosophical, political, and profound. And it just seems like a good wintry novel. Plus, Yoko Tawada is meant to be a really exciting, emerging Japanese author that I want to discover. So I'm gonna pause for a sip of tea. Okay, question number 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? You know, I keep thinking that there are so many great books that I've read this year that, like, how can they be topped? But then I read 2 books last month which blew me away, and I think have like pushed their way into like my favorites for the year. But one I do still want to read is Gancher Goncher by Vivek Sandbag. I've heard so many good things about it, and it seems like exactly my sort of book. So yes, I think it could still become one of my favorite books of the year if I get time to read it, which I should do because it's only very short, and if I love it as much as I think I will do. So on to question 6, the final question. Have you already started making reading plans for 2018? There's definitely plenty of books that will be published in 2018 that sound really exciting by authors like Sally Magnuson and Jim Crace and Jamie Quattro. I did start tentatively making plans, or at least we talked about the idea with the booktubers Britta Bowler and Camel to jointly read the complete works of Doris Lessing, starting at her first book all the way to her last book. It'd be massively ambitious, so I don't know if we could actually commit to it, or if we did want to do it, like, it would probably take 10 or 20 years. But then also, like, possible reading plans for 2018. I do have a big birthday coming up next year. Do I dare say how old I'm gonna be? It's a decade year for me, and no, I'm not going to be 50. And for those of you who think I'm only gonna be 30, bless your hearts. So I'm wondering, should I do some sort of like read 40 classic books before I turn 40 sort of thing? But that seems like an awful lot. I don't know. What do you think? What would be a good goal to set myself before I'm that age? Okay, that's all the questions. I hope everybody does this tag because it's a good one to do as the year is wrapping up. But I'll specifically tag Simon of Savidge Reads because he's finished reading up all the submissions for the Costa Book Prize, and I'll be really curious to know how he answers these questions. And I'll tag Jen Campbell, who Ariel actually already tagged her for this video, but she hasn't made it yet. and it'll be super interesting if she does. And I'll tag Annie from her channel, Am I Right? Because she's awesome, and I just love saying her channel name with a lot of sass. Am I right? So that's it. It's Thanksgiving today, and even though I live in London, there are some restaurants that do a turkey dinner. So I'm heading out with a few friends later to go to one of those where I hope to drink buckets of gravy and eat mountains of cornbread. But I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks for watching. To all my fellow Americans, happy Thanksgiving and happy reading to everyone.